Hey everybody, we are sitting poolside at Antonietta's new office, and I've done a couple of these introductions over the last few months, and this one's a little bit different. This one's very special to me, and I'm gonna wait for some people to come on and be a part of this big announcement. So as everybody knows, we've transitioned over to EXP Realty. Our brokerage has transitioned over to EXP Realty probably about 3 months ago. It's been an amazing ride. And today I wanted to introduce you to EXP's newest staff member, our newest compliant payment specialist for New York, Antonietta, Toni Vitali. Welcome.
Thank you.
So Toni, tell me about, I guess, your history in real estate.
Well, I started with Exit in 2011. I worked for the region for about 2.5 years when I got my license.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some real estate, but my field of expertise is more working with accounting and numbers. So that's where I'm geared mostly towards. I enjoy working with people, but I enjoy working with numbers more.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I did some real estate, and then I left the region, and I worked for another broker prior to Vincent. She sold the franchise over to Vincent, and I stayed with him. And from there, I did his compliance, his finances.
She did it all for us.
I did it all for him.
She paid all the bills, wrote all the checks.
The 3 offices.
Yeah, made sure that we weren't losing money. She kept an eye on everything. It was fantastic. When you worked for the region, Toni, how many offices did you kind of have to oversee?
There was about 38 to 40 offices.
38 to 40 offices.
Yeah, I did all the compliance for them as well.
Right. And a lot of transactions you were closing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you got your license after that?
I did.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You weren't really into real estate sales?
Not really into real estate, no. I mean, I did some personal deals. Bought and sold the house for my in-laws, a couple of friends.
Okay.
I did a few transactions, but not really much.
And then you were doing admin work for a real estate office?
I was working for your prior broker.
Mm-hmm.
I did admin work for her. And I started doing admin work for you until you switched me over into finance, and which I enjoyed doing.
Yeah. So when you were with us, when you were dealing with the finances for our 3 brokerages, I mean, how many deals were you closing for us? In 2018.
In 2018, I think we closed over 1,500 deals.
Wow.
We worked with about 315 agents. It was pretty busy. I mean, in one day, I would close 30 to 35 deals.
Wow.
For the Manhattan office. It was very busy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this should be a walk in the park?
This is a walk in the park compared to what I did.
So I guess in that transition, a lot of the work was taken off my shoulders or your shoulders really, because now it's all done by EXP Realty, right?
Correct.
So
yes.
I didn't have to deal with the compliance, which is nice because I don't have to deal with the liability of all the agents. Right. I don't have to deal with the accounting. I don't have to deal with the payroll.
Overhead.
The overhead. All of these things are off my shoulders. And I guess that affected the workload for you, right?
Yes.
Because now I didn't have all this work for you. So what I did was I saw that EXP posted on Facebook and Workplace that they were looking for new staff members. And, one of the positions was this compliance payment specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, who would be better than you for this position?
Yes.
Right. So what I did first was I called the brokers and I said, hey guys, I have somebody that would be perfect for this. Do you think I could recommend them for the position? And Matt and Kim, they gave me the blessings. They knew you at the time too, because they spoke to you a few times, and they said yes, I think she would be perfect. So what was the application process like and the interview process? How was that whole thing?
Well, I interviewed with my first interview with Laura was in Mexico. I had just gotten to Mexico in August, and she called me, and I asked her if it could wait until I got back, and she said no, because it was very pressing, and we should do this right away. So we set up a second interview. We set up an appointment while I was on vacation, and I spoke to a couple of the people there. I think it was Kim and Jim, a few other people that I can't remember. And we had a second interview, and they seemed to like me. And when I got back here, we set up a third interview, and I got the job. And I couldn't be happier, and I couldn't thank Vincent enough for doing that for me.
Absolutely. I thought the position would be perfect for you, and I thought it was like the same thing that you'd be doing, and we'd still be able to work together. So,
Correct.
you know, it just worked out really nice. And, you know, I've heard that there's hundreds of applicants for every single position that is available at EXP Realty. And, you know, I'm not surprised that you got it, but I know that there was a lot of competition, right? And there's still other positions available because EXP is a growing company. I think when we came in 3 months ago, there were 400 staff members, 400 full-time employees up at EXP Realty. And now there's about 600 full-time employees.
And 23,000 agents?
23,000 agents. When I switched over, I was the 20,000th agent. That's what I'd like to say. But yeah, it's growing tremendously.
It really is.
What's nice is that EXP is growing their staff in proportion to the growth of the agents. So there's enough support for everybody.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what does a compliance payment specialist do?
Well, first thing I do every morning, I go through all the initialized transactions. I make sure that all the documents that are uploaded match what's on the system. I accept the documents. I contact the agents if I'm missing any documents. Communications with the agents is wonderful. I mean, we keep in touch every day.
Right.
So that when the deal is finally closed, we can get them paid practically the same day.
It's like the same thing you were doing for me.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Now, after that, I go to the pending close. Anything that's more urgent, that needs more attention, gets prioritized. We send out the commission invoices right away to make sure that the agents, the attorneys, and everyone has what they need to make it a smooth close. And then I also settle deals after they close. They need a lot of help, so they pulled me in last week because Jim was in Vegas, and I got pulled into closing deals and settling deals, which was fun because I had learned that in my training because they cross-trained us on everything. The instructors are amazing. Lido and Lily Palma, they're amazing. They were really, really good. So they made sure they touched on everything so that I would have experience throughout the whole.
So this is your office. I mean, we're sitting poolside. I saw the office inside. You also work in the cloud, in the cloud office, right? In EXP World. What's that like? Being an avatar and all that?
It's like, it's really fun. I mean, you go to the beach, you take a jet ski, and you take a ride somewhere. You get together with people. They come into your office. You're speaking to them. They're speaking to you like you were sitting like this.
Right. So you still get the human interaction.
Yes. You have a question. The support system is amazing. They help you 1, 2, 3. You get an answer. You need an update. You chat them, and right away if you get an answer, the transaction gets updated. You do what your next step is.
That's awesome.
So it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Let's see. What did I want to ask you? So from what I understand, there's a lot of work, and they're constantly looking for more staff members, right? They're actually looking for other compliance payment specialists.
Yeah, actually for New York, all there is Jim and myself.
Right.
That's it.
Right, and
we have a lot of deals.
We've got about 600 agents in New York. From last time I checked, right around there. When I was first looking at EXP Realty, I think there were like 250 in the entire state.
Wow.
So we've grown tremendously, and we need the support from EXP Realty. We need new staff members. So I think it would be good for people that are, licensed real estate agents? Or
Mhm.
do they look for licensed real estate agents?
Yes, you need to have a license.
You do need to have
be
a
a staff
license.
member. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's interesting. So let's say if there's people that are starting out in real estate but want the stability of a full-time job,
Mhm.
they could reach out to you, and you could actually
Absolutely.
kind of talk them through the process that you went through,
Yes.
and introduce them to the right people so that they could
Right.
interview for the right positions.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, we touched on onboarding. I've onboarded myself, so I can guide anyone to step by step how to get on there.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. I can help out in a lot of fields because you have to know the real estate business in order to work as a compliance payment specialist, because you have to know what forms to look for, the MLS forms. You have to look at contracts. You have to make sure that the contracts have EXP on it, that they're signed, that the addresses are correct, that
I hated doing that stuff.
It's a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of detail.
And you know what I didn't like? When agents would come to me and say, can you just get me paid? I know I'm missing this document, but now I don't have to worry about it.
Right.
I just passed that along.
Exactly. That was one of the questions that they asked me on my interview. What would I do if it was someone I knew and they would ask me to
you never let things slide.
Never let things slide.
That's why I honestly, before you were working with me and after you were working with me, it was such a big difference, right? Because everybody would come up and say, hey, I'm missing this one document. That's all I need is for you to sign my check and everything's good.
Yeah.
And now I don't have to deal with that.
Exactly.
Right? When we were switching over from Exit Realty, EXP Realty, there was a lot of options for you to go out there and find other work.
Actually, a lot of brokers reached out to me.
Right.
And, I considered it, but that wasn't really what I wanted to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And you
this
stayed
was
with
the
me.
perfect fit, yes, because I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. And I'm really blessed to have you with us and to continue to be able to work with you.
I feel the
think
same
that's
way.
the best part.
Yes.
What do you think about? How do you feel about EXP as a company?
I think it's a great company. Their number one is the agents.
Mm-hmm.
They make sure that the agents are taken care of. That's priority. Priority is the agents. They make sure that whatever they need, they can get from us, or we can guide them to where they can get it.
You know what I want to talk about? How we used to have it set up.
Mm-hmm.
And, I used to think I was so smart with this whole thing because we had these 3 offices and I would spend a day or two here, a day or two there. And at first it was paper checks, right? So I would be in the office and sign the checks whenever I'm in the office. And then we got a little smarter.
Right. We decided to go with e-checks.
Then we started to do e-checks. So Toni would close these deals, and no matter where I was, all I have to do is pull up my phone, sign the check, and everything was good, right? And that was really good. I think that was a lot more advanced than a lot of the real estate brokerages have it.
A lot of people never heard of that.
Right. Yeah. Like pretty much come into the office.
You
Sometimes
mean
that's the only time.
Check anywhere and have a deposit?
Right.
Yeah. You can print it anywhere.
Sometimes
Make sure it's in color.
The only times they would go to the office is to go pick up a check. Now they don't even have to come into the office, right? So, and even though we had that system in place, it still wasn't quick enough for the agents, right?
Right.
So as soon as that deal is closed, what would happen? They would call you and say, hey, did you process that deal? Yep. And once they knew it was waiting on me to sign the check, hey, Vincent, can you sign my check? Just get on your phone. I know you're busy, but get on your phone and sign that check.
Yep.
And I could be on vacation. I could be in a meeting.
Exactly.
And it would delay things. And even if it was just for a few hours, when agents finally get paid for all the work that they've done, they want it quick. And I don't blame them, right?
Of course.
So how are things done now? What's the system with EXP and how they get agents paid?
Well, if they close a deal and all their documentation is uploaded and everything is accepted, it's broker approved, right away we can settle the deal and they can get paid immediately.
So
within the day.
Same day?
Same day
that they get, but checks don't even get deposited that quick.
Well, it's direct deposit.
It's direct
deposit into their account. So we send it to payment processing. They issue the payment and it goes straight into their account.
I actually had a number of agents come to me and say, I love the new system. I love how fast it is. And you know, I love the fact that you're on the other side, so I know,
Right.
you know, I know who I'm dealing with.
Exactly.
I got to tell you, I've dealt with a lot of the representatives in EXP world, and they're all fantastic.
Yes.
And I feel
They're
like
a nice group of people.
their training is on point. I mean,
Yes.
when you were in training, I mean,
3 weeks. It was intense.
there was 3 weeks and it was full days,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, from 8:30 in the morning to like 5:30, 5:45.
And,
Yep.
and I think it's important that we have well-trained people that are handling our
Yeah.
transactions, handling our paperwork,
They
and all that
really
good stuff.
teach you. They teach you. They're patient. They're on point. I mean, you have any questions, they go over it over and over until you get it. And they give everyone the same attention. If there's 12 people in the room, every single one of them has a question. It will be answered. It doesn't matter how long it takes.
Right. So, so I guess what I want everybody to know is Tony's available, right? So if you any questions that you might have in terms of you know, hey, what positions are open at EXP Realty? What's the interview process like? How should I have my resume set up? Or you know, anything real estate related. What's the deal close process like? How do you get paid out? Anything and everything. Reach out to her. She's more than happy to answer any questions. Reach out to me. I'm just super excited to be working, you know, closely with Toni, and you know, for her to still be working with our group and all of the EXP Realty in New York. It's such a blessing.
Yes.
I'm really
very
so
blessed.
happy.
I'm very blessed. I'm very happy. Very grateful to you.
Absolutely. You know, and I've been waiting to do this announcement. We were in Vegas, and it was hard to get all these things coordinated, but
We finally got it together.
yes.
Yes.
All right. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here for this announcement, and
Thank
welcome,
you.
Toni.
You can reach me anytime. You can email me, text me. You can reach me. I'll be happy to help you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Good job.